Hi guys, this is my last and final Amazing Race recap for episode number 10. So as you might already know by the title of this video, we got eliminated. Oh, it's such a bummer! Not only that, we got U-turn too. For the second time. The first time isn't enough. We wanted 2 helpings of U-turns. Anywho, let me get right into it. We open up our clue and it says we're headed to Scotland. Our departure time was like at 2 o'clock in the morning, so we were a little bit groggy. We head straight to the airport and everything is closed. We thought for sure there'd at least be a travel agency there, but there wasn't. So as we're walking around the airport, we're asking people if we can use their phone to try and check on flights. We're even calling people to try and arrange flights, and nothing is really going through, and all we can do is wait until 5 o'clock in the morning until one of the desks opens up. Finally, one of them do, and we get a flight that will get us in at 1 o'clock p.m. We happen to get the last tickets for that flight as well, and all the other teams that were behind us couldn't get on it. The earliest they would arrive was 3 hours later. The Derby moms were also on this flight with us, which was kind of reassuring because it's like, yes, our alliance, we're on the same flight together, all the other teams are going to be left behind. We actually have a chance at this. The Derby moms had booked their tickets online, and we felt really confident in knowing that they had done research and checked for any available flights, and they told us that this was the only one that was available. So in the back of our minds, we're just like, there's no other flights except for that one that will get them in to Scotland at 4. This was our first mistake. On all the other legs, Joey and I were relentless when it came to booking our flights. We would book our flights, then look everywhere else to make sure we got the quickest flight possible. This time around, we let our guard down. We definitely weren't thorough. This set us up for so much failure, it's unbelievable. When we land in Scotland, we're headed out to the parking lot thinking we have this awesome 3-hour lead on all the other teams, and we get there and there are only 2 cars left in the parking lot. And we're like, what? Aren't there supposed to be 5? Why are there only 2 left? Aside from the 2 cars that were there for us, there was another car that was there, and we thought maybe another team was running behind and was gonna be coming on the 4 o'clock flight. We figured it must have been the blondes because when we had left, they seemed like they couldn't find a better flight. So with that in mind, Joey and I still think that we have a chance at this race and that someone else is behind us. We hop in the cars and we start following the moms. At this point, the moms already knew that we were battling for last place. I had no idea. I thought they were just really focused. Joey and I love the Derby moms so freaking much. In watching this past episode, it was really funny because I feel like we loved them so much more than they loved us at the time. They're definitely quite the competitors, and they definitely honed into their Derby side. We're driving through Scotland and we're going along the coastline, and it is just so freaking beautiful. I keep driving on the wrong side of the road. You don't see this, but I kept on driving on the wrong side of the road and getting yelled at. I'm like, oh God, I keep forgetting. I'm the worst driver ever. So the fact that I was driving in the first place was kind of a big deal. I drove because it was a manual, and Joey knows how to drive manual too, but that's all I've ever driven, so I decided to drive. We get to the castle, jump out, we open up the clue, and I have to do it because Joey had already done his maximum amount of roadblocks. When I read the clue, it said I had to do something with the bagpipe, and I'm like, alright, well, it's a wind instrument, I played the trumpet, I should be able to do this. But I've also heard that the bagpipes are really, really challenging, so I was kind of afraid going into it, but I figured, you know what, I'll go in there, I'll do my best, and we'll see what happens. It was pretty awesome. I got dressed up in like a kilt, and like I had these really nice fuzzy socks that were super warm, and I had a little bow tie. It looked so cute. It was like Scotland cosplay all up in there. I go into this room and my instructor is telling me what to do, and I get the hang of it, and I'm able to do the note pretty good. But he wants me to march around the room and be playing the note at the same time. I have to march all the way around the room that I'm practicing in before he'll let me go out. So I'm like freaking out, like, oh my gosh. The more and more that I do this, the harder it gets. My mouth muscles were getting so freaking tired. Like I couldn't even feel my mouth anymore. Not to mention, my lungs were getting a little tired. I was starting to feel lightheaded. It's such a strange process. You have to fill up the bagpipe and put it right on, like in your armpit, and push down on it with the right amount of pressure as you're blowing into it so it never fully empties. And the note itself wasn't really that difficult, but marching and doing all of this at the same time was the hardest part of the task. I start freaking out because I'm like, I can't march around this room. How am I going to be able to march around the room that's out there? I had a really cool instructor though, and he's encouraging me, and he's even like swapping spit with me. It was getting a little gross, to be honest. The mouthpiece kept kind of slipping off too, and he was like pushing it back on, and his dead skin was coming off on the mouthpiece. Oh, so gross. And he would like lick it, and then he would stick it in my mouth, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I am like totally doing this. I'm one of those people who, like, I don't share chapsticks, I don't drink after people, so the fact that this was happening, I was just like, it's okay, Megan, it's gonna be okay. You can rinse your mouth out with antibacterial when you get in the car, you're gonna be fine. I didn't do that, by the way. So finally I tell the guy, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna know if I can do this until I try, so I just need to go out there and give it my all. He's like, alright, fine, let's do it. So I go out there, I tuck my chin into my chest, I fill up the bag, and I'm just like, I am gonna do this. I looked so freaking disgusting marching around the room. I was like this, and I was making the grossest face ever. I think I had my eyes closed the whole time, which actually, no, I opened them up a little bit to see where I was going, but I was just going and hoping and praying that I would get this right. And I didn't even know we had stopped playing when I finished and I made my full round. They were all congratulating me and telling me I did it, and I was so shocked. I was like, yes, I did it, finally! This was another thing that held us back. While I was trapped in the room with the instructor, basically making out with him, Mona had already finished the roadblock. That girl was born to do those bagpipes, telling you that. Me, not so much. They probably had about a 30-minute lead on us at this point, and I knew they had to complete a speed bump as well, so I was like hoping maybe the speed bump was really hard, and they're gonna take a long time at that. Also, remember, at this time, I'm still thinking another team is coming, so I didn't realize yet that we were going to be racing for last place against the Derby Moms, the last of our Alliance members. So we hop in our car and we head to another castle where we have to search for our next clue. When we had left from doing the roadblock, I went the wrong way again. That's pretty funny. Remember when I did that in Africa? I just felt like I had to do it twice, I guess. Ugh, falling wasn't embarrassing enough. I keep going the wrong way on camera. So by the time we left, it was a little later in the day and traffic was kicking up like crazy. We were sitting in traffic for I don't know how long. We finally get to where we need to be and we see Beth and Mona and we're like, oh great, you guys finished your speed bump. This is awesome. Let's look for the clue together. We'll help each other out. At this point, they knew still that we were racing for last place and Joey and I hadn't realized that yet. Genuinely, we did not know. Searching throughout that castle for our clue was really freaking cool. That would be the best place ever to play hide and go seek, just saying. We got to use our headlamps too for the first time ever, which I felt like so BA. I was doing my little headlamp and I'm just like looking in the chimneys and stuff. Fun fact, I actually left my headlamp in the Ford Fiesta, so I don't have it anymore. Darn it. I should buy a new one. Anyways, we find our clue, read it, and we are headed to do our detour. Making the decision to do the haggis was pretty easy because rolling whiskey barrels did not sound fun at all. It sounded really challenging, and making haggis seemed like quite a bit easier. And it's making something, so Joey and I are really great at that. We're great at making stuff, we're great at building stuff. Let's stick to our strengths. We follow the Derby Moms to the detour, and this whole time that we're driving behind them, we still don't know we're battling for last place, and they're trying to lose us. Watching the episode this past Sunday was so freaking funny. Mona's getting so upset, and I totally understand because the previous leg, they were running away from the Hockey brothers, so they probably, all these old feelings were probably mustering back up, and they were getting all like righteous and stuff in their car, which was really funny. I don't know. We get to where we need to be and the moms jet. They just take off. The funniest clip ever is when Mona is like jumping through trash cans to try and lose us. What was she doing? They're so like, we just had no idea. Watching it now, I'm just like, it makes me laugh so much because we were in another world. I don't know what Joey and I were thinking. I really, honestly, we thought that the blondes were behind us probably. Anywho, we get in there, we start making the haggis, and oh my gosh, this was so much harder than you could have even imagined. The intestines were frozen. They had to thaw out completely before you could start using them, or else you'd get a hole in the skin and that would completely suck, which is what happened to me. I was trying to rush and I was trying to hurry, but when I did that, I had gotten halfway done with my haggis and there was a hole in it and I couldn't use it because the inspector goes through and he pushes down on every like ball of haggis to try and see if it'll spill out, and if it does, you have to do it again. So I had to start from scratch after already halfway completing one of my haggis pieces. Another bad thing about this challenge is I had a bunch of cuts all over my skin from just, you know, whatever we had done on the race previously or that whole time. I would get all these random like scratches and scars. It's kind of gross. But I'm digging my hands in the meat and all the spices and everything were just burning my skin so freaking bad. But I was tapping through it. I was just like, this is no big deal. Just gotta do this, gotta get it done. Go, go, go. As we're doing this, the Derby Moms are flying through this detour. Like, I'm not even kidding you. They did it in what felt like 5 minutes. Definitely took Joey and I at least 10 minutes to complete this challenge, or 15, and they did it so quick. They were born to make haggis. Now that I think about it, this leg was made for the Derby Moms. There was cooking involved and brute strength. which both of them are extremely capable of. Too bad the detour on the roadblock wasn't like, you know, film a video and make cupcakes. Because I would have rocked that so hard! Anywho, we finish up our haggis and we get to taste it. And oh my gosh, I'm not kidding you, that haggis was delicious! We hadn't eaten all day, and so eating that was like heaven. I almost wanted to grab some and stick it in my pocket and just like, you know, snack on it throughout the race. But I didn't. So at this point, it hits me. And I finally realized that we are indeed racing for last place. Oops, sorry, I forgot to mention this. Let's rewind a little bit. As we were finishing up the haggis, the Derby moms were right outside rolling the barrel. So we knew they had gotten U-turned, and we realized, you know, this is gonna be a neck-and-neck race to beat them to the mat. But we were being hopeful. Maybe we weren't U-turned. Who knows? Let's see. We head to the U-turn board, and of course we're U-turned. We're the first ones to be U-turned by no one else but those classy professional athletes, Anthony and Bates. This sucked. Getting U-turned the first time was a bummer. Getting U-turned the second time, we were fighting for last place. They were already so far ahead of us. To U-turn us again, it just kind of just felt like, okay, you got us. We're in last place. We're gonna lose, we get it. We don't have to be U-turned, we understand. But, you know, I get it, whatever. They had a U-turn, they wanted to use it, and they did. It's kind of cool though, thinking about it, that we got U-turned by professional athletes. I'll take that compliment any day. I guess Anthony and Bates were scared of us. What up, boys? Want some? Step into the microphone. Gotta back up right here. 1, 2, 1, 2. We head over to do the whiskey barrels with the moms, and they are not talking to us at all. This is the first time in the race where we really start seeing the distance between us and them. Last race was such a close call for them. They had come in last and were saved by the non-elimination, so their minds were just like, you know, we gotta win that $1 million. Alliance aside, we're running this race and we're in it to win it. And that was our mentality too, but I don't know, it just felt so weird competing for last place with them. This is definitely not how we wanted to go out. So Joey and I start rolling the barrels, and those things were so heavy. Oh my gosh, they were super heavy, heavier than the cheese. I feel like there were 6 cheeses in those barrels, no joke. We had to roll them on this cobblestone, and there was a bunch of cracks and like bumps that we had to go over, so it wasn't a smooth roll. It was actually pretty difficult. Then we had to go up this giant hill and deliver them to the top. We worked out a pretty great system where we would both roll our barrels to the bottom of the hill and then work together to roll them to the top because they were really hard. Joey was struggling too, and it was hurting your hands so bad. After like my hands getting all cut up from the haggis and them burning, I was getting splinters on my hands from the barrels, which sucked even more. At one point I grabbed a barrel and I was like just throwing all my weight on it and pushing it, and I'm just like, something smells like poop. Oh god, this barrel has poop on it. It was horse poop. I was rolling myself around in horse poop. One of the many awesome things that happened to me on the race. Halfway through doing the barrels, the moms finish, and at this point we're just like, dang it, this sucks. Now that they're gone, all that we can hope for is maybe they get lost. It's such a conflicting feeling too, because we know this is a competition, we know that we're in it to win it, and that definitely is our attitude and our mentality, but we would hate to see the moms go. But we don't want to leave either. I don't know, it just was really weird. It's very different from feeling like we were in last place when we were in Africa versus Max and Katie, and now, you know, versing the moms for last place. As we're rolling up our final barrel, I'm like talking to Joey and I'm like, you know what, this was fun. This was like an adventure of a lifetime, and he's like crying, and I'm starting to tear up, and he's like, come on Megan, we just gotta finish it. And I'm thinking, you know what, you're right. Let's stay focused. It's never over until it's over. We get our next clue and it says we need to head to the mat. So we're at this point, we're like wet, we're dirty, we smell of haggis. We're still a little hungry because we only had 1 spoonful of the haggis, and we're already starting to feel a little defeated. We hop in our cars and we head to the pit stop, which was really difficult to find. Do you know us? We're pretty bad at directions. We run to the mat, and I'm so happy that I didn't fall running to the mat because the cobblestone was really uneven. And I got those weak ankles, so I was like, oh man, I don't want to like fall on my way to me actually getting eliminated. Luckily I didn't. We hit the mat and I felt like I had a glimmer of hope. I'm just like, you know what? If there's one thing I learned from Switzerland is that it's never over until it's over. You never know what's going to happen. Someone may have gotten a penalty, or something may have happened. There actually could have been a team behind us. I don't know. Maybe the moms haven't checked in yet. We get there and Joey's crying already because he knows I'm still just oblivious. And Phil cuts right to the chase and lets us know we were eliminated. My facial expression after this was said was just like disbelief. It's pretty sad watching it on TV too, because I just looked down and I'm just like, no, it's not over. It's not over. This was the adventure of a lifetime, and I feel like I've said this so many times today, but it truly was. This was originally Joey's idea to audition for the race, and the fact that I got to go along with him and he asked me to do this was such an honor and such a privilege, and I had the best time of my life. Oh, I'm crying. Thinking about everything I did and doing stuff that I didn't even know I was capable of doing, and having someone who believed in me. The whole race was just, it was just crazy. Everything that we experienced was just once in a lifetime. When I was growing up, I would watch The Amazing Race with my parents. And we'd talk about how cool it was. My mom would always be like, Megan, you gotta be on the race when you get older. You do it so well. And I'm like, you're right, I could totally do this. And as I got older, that dream kind of faded. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so we never went on family vacations. The furthest I had ever been was probably like, the Bay Area to visit my grandma. And I have now traveled all the way around the world and done things I never thought I would be able to do. I jumped out of a helicopter in Bora Bora. I raced donkeys in Africa. I made an offering in Bali. I ran 3 miles in the snow, uphill, in Switzerland. I jumped off of a building in Berlin. And I have so many more amazing memories with my best friend. And I'm so grateful. And best of all, I got to share it with you guys. So thank you for all the love and support. This race has been amazing, and I'm so happy that you guys were with us the whole way. Okay, so I have something that I've been saving in a little plastic bag, and I wanted to show you guys. This is kind of gross, actually. Oh, it's really gross. I have my shoes right here from The Amazing Race. These are insane. I haven't opened this up. I'm kind of afraid of how these are gonna smell. Not bad, they kind of deodorized. Oh my goodness, look at these bad boys. Look at that dirt, that's from Scotland. Oh, those whiskey barrels. Right here, there's like black tar. This was from when we were in Switzerland. I tripped over one of the train tracks and got grease all over my shoe. These bad boys have been through hell and back. When I was in Bora Bora, they got washed like every single time because we were in the water. And then again, when I was in New Zealand after doing the schmoozle, when I was in the airport, I washed them in the sink. So they were getting washed a few times, but they weren't drying completely. So by the end of the race, they had this really funky odor. Oh, they smelled so bad. They don't smell bad anymore. That's good. But I just wanted to show you guys these shoes and what they've been through. Just figured that's pretty cool. I guess I can wash them now because I still want to use them. These are really great shoes. Guess what, guys? So the end of this recap would not be the same if I didn't have my teammate alongside me.
Well, we had a good run, girl.
We had a great run. Mm-hmm. Especially when we ran all the way to the top of the mountain in Switzerland.
Is that your favorite moment of the whole thing?
That was my favorite run.
I don't know, it's so crazy because it was like 30 days and it felt like so much more than that. Like thinking back to the beginning, like the time that we spent with John and Jessica in the airport, like that was so long ago, but like that was one of my favorite moments. Was just like,
oh, bonding with them.
Yeah.
Didn't you feel like we lost track of time? Like
really
hours didn't matter. Like we were getting up at like 2 o'clock in the morning to leave from the mat, and I'm just like, normally this would never happen.
Our whole time schedule was so different.
Yeah,
I don't remember
traveling
the flights
so much. I don't remember them either.
It's just like we appeared in the country. I think we teleported. They roofied us. Or we teleported.
I roofied you. I had these little sleep vitamins, remember?
I remember.
I gave one to Joey, like, in the very beginning, and every time before we, like, conked out, he was like, can I get one of those sleep vitamins? And I was like, here you go, Joey.
Hand me one of those roofies, girl.
We had our little flight routine, do you remember?
We did.
We'd just be sitting there inflating our little neck pillows, getting comfy. One of us would take our shoes off, and the other person would be like, can you cover your feet? It smells so bad.
Yeah.
Remember when you tried blaming me one time, like, Joey, that's you. And you're like,
and I was like, oh, wait, yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Well, sorry.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah, and I just want to apologize for my snoring.
Oh my gosh, you guys have no idea. Dude, it was the worst when we were in Africa. Because I was so tired. And I crawled to bed. Oh my gosh, you were so loud. I thought you were a freaking cheetah or something.
I'm like attracting the animals.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, Joey, shut up. lost. You snore so loud, but I was so tired half the
was a
time.
lion.
It didn't bother me. It was okay.
Yeah.
How great was it though when we had pizza with the moms and the pint of beer?
I think we had pizza with them twice, in Africa and in Switzerland, but Switzerland was great. I
Pizza
think,
with them twice?
yeah, in Africa, we split that pizza and french fries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. Forgot about that.
Um,
I usually remember food. Remember all the crap we ate? Like all the airplane food?
shoot. That
Do
was
you-
so nasty.
Do you have an airplane food meal that you really enjoyed?
I don't remember.
I think you got a really good chicken pasta one time, didn't you?
Oh, girl, everything tasted so good on those flights.
Yeah.
It was just like we were so hungry. And when Megan wouldn't finish her meal, I'd be like, girl, you need to finish that. You need energy. Like, I'll just put it in our little fanny pack, and then like later that day it would be like all squished. It'd be like a pancake. Like, oh, I'll still eat it.
What was that? You ate it, remember?
I know, I don't
It
remember.
was something like Joey would
Girl,
always make me
it was
feel
so
guilty.
good.
He's like, you need to eat that. Like
Yeah.
he was so serious, and I'm like, oh, I'm saving it. You're
Yeah.
like, you pulled it out. You're like, you gonna eat this? I'm like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna eat it. I'm like, okay, go ahead.
Well, yeah. Good reminiscing.
Good memories. It was a good time.
It was.
It's always a good time, Joey Graceffa. When you're by my side
That's right,
and we're
girl.
racing around the world.
That's right.
Team Cute.
Forever. Team YouTube. You hashtag YouTube.
I was gonna say Team Cute deactivate. So is that too sad?
That's so sad. Team YouTube deactivate.
No, forget it. Team Cute activate.
Forever.
Hashtag Team YouTube forever.